Hello everybody and welcome to At Home with Mindy. Today I'm just going to make basic white bread to show you how easy it is. Plus I've got to try and use up some of my flour because it's getting close to date. So we've just got a bowl, 500 grams of bread flour. This one's from Lidl's and it's only 55p. Then you need a tablespoon of caster sugar, a teaspoon of salt, I think I've just got them around the wrong way, and 1 sachet of Easy Blend yeast. This packet came from Tesco's and it's their recipe on the back that I'm using. I've done it a couple of times now and that recipe seems to work really well. So once you put those in, you just stir it. I haven't got the water ready. I will be 2 seconds and I'll get the water. Right, I've measured out the water. You need 300 mils, and the way I do it is I put 200 in from either the hot tap, but because I haven't run it for a while it's not going to be hot, but the kettle is still quite warm, so I put 200 mils of kettle water in, and then I've made it up to 300 using cold water. If you can put your finger in and it's comfortable, that should be about the right temperature. And you've got 25 mils of vegetable oil. You can use whatever type of oil is in your house. I put it into the water and then it just says to gradually blend it into your flour. So I'm going to put about half in, give it a bit of a stir. Move that bit out of the way. And then just keep stirring and pouring. Because in a minute it's going to look like there's probably not enough, even though it looks sloppy now. But once the flour starts blending in, it's not going to be that sloppy. You'll end up thinking it's quite dry. But the funny thing is, when you buy bread flour, you think, oh, I can get free mixes out of it. But because you need to use some for dusting the worktop, you don't always get free actual loaves out of it. Just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, one of them's going to end up being a bit short. But it would actually make 6 loaves because most people only have a loaf tin that's £1. Right, now for all the fun part. Because I've noticed as well on YouTube, some people are very delicate with the bread, but you really need to knead it. You don't need to just gently fold it, because this is where we get our exercise. Because if you think back to the days when people used to always bake their own bread, they always had arm muscles. And I bet it's from all this folding of doing the kneading bit. I might have a bit too much flour, but we can always push it out the way. Once you've got all those loose bits together, then we can really start beating it up. Because this is how I do. I just sort of roll across the worktop and maybe give it a gentle fold, but you'll feel it in the it feels quite nice and warm, but you can just sort of feel that it doesn't mind being pushed around, because we want to stretch the gluten in it, and the best way to do that is to give it a good stretch. But we need to do this for 10 minutes this time. It's 5 minutes on the second lot. So I'll get my son to speed this bit up, because I don't have editing software on my computer. that's all I do for the next 10 minutes. And so far all my bread's turned out fine. Not that I've made much. But we'll start the 10 minutes from now. I paused you for a couple of minutes just so there wouldn't be quite so much editing for them. But as you can see, it's starting to really get nice and smooth. It must be working because my arm muscles are getting a bit tired. I'm going to say that's the 10 minutes done. Then I'm going to cheat and I'm just going to get a second bowl that's already clean because we need to grease it. Oh, this is going to be hard because it's a huge bowl. Just a little dribble in there. That's probably about a tablespoon actually. I've got oil everywhere now. Right, so we just rub that around. This is just so that when your bread has risen, it's easier to get out of the bowl. So you put your bread in there, and you can get a bit of cling film. And you're going to put it over the top just to, I think it's to try and trap the heat that the bread makes. But one little trick I've learned in my house, because it's quite cold, I don't have any heating in the kitchen. This is just a microcloth. I'm going to put the bowl on top of it because the worktop is actually quite cold. And then I'm going to get another one and put over top of the cling film. So it's not going to actually touch the ingredients. It's just to try and help create a bit more warmth. I have already started making one. This one's been proving probably for about 40 minutes. And it started off the same size as that one. So this one will be ready to start kneading again in a little while. But again, that one's on 2 different cloths. So I'll see you when it's ready to start kneading again. Hello, and I'm back again. This was the first mixture. Because it's had more time to think, it'd be quicker to use this one. You can see how big it is. That's been resting for an hour. This is the other one, it's only had 20 minutes. So now what we need to do is flour the worktop again. And this is why I said you're only going to get 2 mixtures out of a whole bag, because you've got to keep putting more flour on the worktop. So for every 8 books of the yeast, it's going to take you 4 boxes of flour to use it all up. And then this one, we're deflating it again. And it's going to be a bit greasy on your worktop because of the oil. But we literally just got to knead it again for 5 minutes. Definitely doesn't look as pretty now, it's all breaking up again. You can see all the folds. now that we've kneaded it again, this is where you've got to decide what you're going to be doing, whether it's a loaf of bread, making into bread rolls, pizza bases. That's why I've made two lots. One's going to be bread and the other one I'm cutting into 4 portions and making huge pizzas. And the best thing with using fresh mixture like this is when you do make a pizza, it ends up rising like the Chicago town ones, but obviously a lot cheaper because you've made it yourself. But that's what it'll taste like, a nice Chicago pizza. Right, that's that done. Then you'll have to excuse how old my trays look. They're still usable, but we will want to grease the tray just so that the bread will release. What's the best way to do it? I'll dab the oil onto the kitchen roll instead. So we've greased that. This one is going to just make one huge loaf. You could use 2 small tins, but I want to make it into like one of the bloomers you can buy in Tesco's or any other supermarket. So I'm just going to try and shape it so it's long. If you do it this way as well, you don't need to use a tin, you just need a baking sheet. Just trying to stretch it out so that it gets a bit bigger. Right, so at the moment that goes from nearly one end to the other. We're going to leave it to rise for another 30 minutes, excuse me, and then we'll cook it. I just want to score a few lines across the top just to make it look pretty. And I'll see you in 30 minutes when that will have hopefully have doubled again. So bye bye. Hello, I've waited 30 minutes and you can see it has grown. So I'm just preheating the oven to 180 degrees because mine's a fan, or you can do 200 degrees or gas mark 6. But this will grow as it's cooking. We put it in for 30 to 35 minutes. Then we'll turn it over, tap it, and it should sound hollow. That's how you know it's done. If it doesn't sound hollow, put it back in for the few minutes. Hello, it's been in the oven for 35ish minutes. Sorry, you can't see it. The shape got a bit funny, it's very hot. But if I turn it over, hopefully you could hear how hollow that sounded. But that's what it's turned into. I didn't shape it very well, but it's definitely grown. So it is worth making your own bread, because for some reason, once I do make a loaf, they all bombard into the kitchen and it goes much quicker than shop bought bread. I think it's the smell that does it. So thank you for watching, and please enjoy it if you do make your own. You can always like, subscribe, comment down below. I do hold the comments just to make sure those naughty ones about girl don't get through. But all other comments I do let go through. Bye bye.